Good morning, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Peace and wisdom. Now it's very early. It's about 6:30 in the morning. And I want to do this video for you guys this morning explaining how life works. Now, when I say how life works, I mean we all live in life. We live, we die. We have time. We have sunrise, sunset. You have awake. You have sleep. You have dreams. You like, what's that? I don't really understand none of this stuff. But I'm here. You don't know how you got here. And so it gets real fuzzy. And, we don't really understand what is this thing called life that we're a part of. And how does it work? And what's going on here? Like I said, we have dreams and then we're awake and you see the sunrise, then you see the sunset, and it's like, what is all of this truly? Because it's pretty fuzzy. So I want to do this video explaining exactly how life works and what it is. So it's a very deep thing I want you guys to grasp. Bring yourself down. Open your ears so you can receive this truth. Now we have like life and death. We have sunrise, sunset. You have awake. You have sleep. So we have these many different things and we perceive them how we do. So they're like opposites. Nighttime, daytime, they're opposites from one another. Life and death is opposite from one another. Sleep and awake is opposite from one another. So we have this duality in life, but as far as truly grasping it, we don't. Now, we view the duality as a matter of balance. So nighttime balances out day and sleep balances out awake and so on and so forth. Then we have time and all of this is happening in time. And so we kind of perceive it however we can perceive it, being as though there's no one to say, no. This is like this and that's like that. So we kind of have to just assume. So all perceptions and perspectives and theories and all things we have in life is truly just an assumption. It's not a set in stone fact. So it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. Now, you have all the opposites that I just named. Sleep, awake. Sunrise, sunset. Daytime, nighttime. Even time. And all of this, like I said, is a man-made concept. It's not real. It has nothing to do with life. And we get lost in these things. Now, what all that has to do with, meaning sleep and awake, sunrise, sunset, life, death, what all that has to do with is a matter of conscious coming and going. And it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. Nighttime and daytime, sunrise and sunset, this is a matter of conscious or what we would call light coming and going. Now, when you have sleep and awake, it's the same. It's a matter of conscious or light, because when you sleep, you don't see, it's dark. You don't see unless you're dreaming. And in that case, you're not fully unconscious. So it's a deep thing, but conscious and unconscious. It's a matter of conscious coming and going. So when you're asleep or awake, this is a matter of conscious coming and going, just like the sunrise and sunset. And life and death is the same thing. Now, in life, we have this just repeatedly happening through every aspect of the life. So through every aspect of the life, you have conscious coming and going, and it's being perceived and labeled as a separate thing from that. So you have the sun coming and going, which is conscious coming and going, and we call that sunrise, sunset. We call that daytime, nighttime. You have sleep and awake. Now this is just conscious coming and going, but we call that sleep and awake, and we have our philosophy built around that. So a man has to sleep, so therefore he can be charged up for the next day, and we have a lot built on these things. But for the most part, it's just a matter of conscious coming and going. And you live and you die, and the conscious comes and goes. So this is all that is. Now, when I say conscious coming and going, I'm not speaking in a matter of being dead or alive, because there is no life or death, but there's just conscious coming and going. Conscious coming into physical bodies and conscious leaving those physical bodies. Now, the existence for the conscious will always be the same, whether it's in a body or not. So you have to grasp, the conscious controls the body. If there's no body, the conscious still controls itself. Like in a dream. There's no body, but you still perceive the dream the same way you perceive the physical world, and you do what you do there. Now, you truly never grasp the dream world, being as though you're only there for an hour or two, because we sleep about 8 hours, and out of those 8 hours, you may have been in a dream an hour or two. It seems long, but this is why you truly don't grasp dream and then being awake, and you like, I don't understand that. Well, that's why. You're not there long enough. And then you're not here long enough. Meaning, everyone sleeps one time a day. So this is my point. Conscious is coming and going. And it's repeatedly happening so often that you never truly have a chance to grasp life. Now, when I say conscious is coming and going frequently, you're awake. And during the time you're awake, you drift off into daydream for maybe 10 minutes, and this is conscious coming and going. Then you snap out of it. Then during the day some people may take a nap, a 2-hour nap. So this is conscious coming and going on a bigger scale than daydreaming. But it's still conscious coming and going. Then you have sleep, and you do this at least once a day, a whole night's sleep. And this is conscious coming and going on a bigger scale than a nap. And then you have daytime and nighttime. And this is truly just conscious or the sun coming and going. And this is on a larger scale than your sleep. But it's still just conscious coming and going. Then you have life and death. And it's the same. It's just conscious coming and going. In and out of physical. The same way as when you were asleep or awake. The same as when the sun came and left. It's a matter of conscious coming into physical and out of physical. So when I say coming and going, I'm speaking physical bodies and out of physical bodies. Now, you sleep once a day, that's about 8 hours. That's the conscious coming and going out of the physical body. You see daytime, nighttime. That is the conscious coming and going out of the physical space, our body. Now, it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. You have life and death. And this is the same as all the rest. Conscious coming and going. It's on a larger scale, but nonetheless, it's the same. Now, this happens frequently throughout your life, as I just explained. From daydreaming to naps, to full night sleep, to life and death, to the sun rising and setting. It's all conscious coming and going repeatedly all throughout your existence. Therefore, you never have a moment to truly grasp how the life works. What's going on? You never really have that moment, being as though you're always constantly going in and out. Your conscious is always coming and going from one existence to the next, meaning unphysical to the physical. And this is constantly happening. Now, Being as though we separate everything and we have all those concepts separated from one another, we view life and death as a matter of unphysical and physical, and we like when we die, then we'll experience the unphysical realms of life. And the true reality is you've already experienced every aspect of life, you just do not grasp that it's a matter of conscious coming and going in and out of the physical. And being as though this happens so often, sleep, nap, daydreams, it just happens all throughout the existence. You never have a moment to truly grasp physical or unphysical. They become separate. You don't realize that one transcends into the other. When you're dreaming, you didn't arrive in the dream. You were there. You didn't knock on the door and say, okay, I'm coming into dream world. Or you had no conscience of this. It's like I said, dream and awake. It's one and the same. They transcend into one another. There is no separation. They're not opposites. They're not a duality, but it's just one thing. All things are just one thing. Swaying back and forth or coming and going. But there's no separation. Separation is a matter of understanding. So a man who doesn't truly understand, he still sees the separation. But a man who has acquired, which I would call like Christ conscious and awakening the Kundalini and seeing through the third eye and all these many different concepts you guys have, which truly amount to nothing. But when a man begins to grasp, he doesn't see any separation. He sees as if his eyes are not separate, but they're just one. Therefore, everything he sees is one, and he truly grasps. So your eyes separate your perception, and your eyes are what makes you perceive everything in a duality. Because the eye is separate, and it's bringing the information back separately. Therefore, the brain is perceiving a separation, a duality. But there is none. All is one thing, transcending back and forth. So it's basically just conscious coming and going. Now, like I said, when you're in the dream existence, you didn't knock on the door and get there or knew you were even there. You were awake in this conscious one moment, and in the next minute, you were in that existence, and there was no separation consciously to you. You're in the dream, and you don't think of this existence. Excuse me, I'm sorry. When you're in the dream, you do not think of this physical existence. To you, nothing happened. You're just existing like you were already. And there was no sleep in you waking up into a dream, but consciously you just are existing and nothing happened, and you're not missing the physical world. You're not like, oh, my body's there and oh, I miss my loved ones, because according to you, nothing happened. Conscious comes and goes in and out of physical. But to the conscious, nothing happened. So when you're asleep, dreaming, nothing happened to you. Now, when you wake up into the physical, you realize, hold on, something happened. So the physical is almost like what's not real. Because when you snap into that, then you realize, hey, something's wrong. But when the conscious leaves the physical, there's no intervenience. There's nothing that rattles the conscious. It's just fluidly existing. But when one wakes up into the physical, then you like, oh, I was dreaming. But you don't fully grasp the dream existence. Even if you remember the dream, you're like, that's weird. I don't grasp how I exist in the dream, and then I come back here and So we just sign dreams off as, some type of fake thing or just an effect. But you have to grasp there was no separation, only when you woke up. Now, you never fully grasped the dream existence, being as though, like I said, we're only there an hour or two. And then you wake back up into the physical, and you're only physically in the conscious for a few hours, Some people are up 4 hours and they take a nap, and then they out of the physical again until they wake back up. Some people may go a whole 12-hour day, but no one goes a year straight in the physical without the conscious not coming and going, but they're just there, and we all fall asleep and drift off, and so you're never in one existence long enough to truly grasp the connection and what's going on. I guess some ancients have, and I know the natives that were here, they grasped this. They called it dream time, and they didn't separate it from this existence. And it's just a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. It's the perception. We see life how we see it, and in us assuming, we kind of shorten ourselves from truly grasping the whole. It's like life and death. We perceive it how we perceive it. This is why we truly do not grasp that there is no physical existence and then an unphysical existence, but they're one, and the conscious comes and goes out of the physical. It comes and goes in and out of the physical, meaning bodies. It comes and goes out of the physical body, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes out of the physical body. So the conscious still exists, and it does as it does, and you're not going to perceive things different. It's just like when you're dreaming. It's just like when you die. You won't perceive things different. To you, you just exist, and you may not even realize there's no body, and you'll be struggling with this, still doing as you do. So when I did the video explaining how spirits or men die and their spirits do not ascend and go where it belongs, it just stays here and attaches itself to other physical people so that it can experience the desires that it experienced when it was alive. And it truly doesn't grasp that it's dead. It thinks it's still alive, and it's just like no grasping. And I know many of you was like, that's weird, that's not true. But if you can begin to see life right, then you will grasp, oh yeah, that does make sense. And this is how that happens. It's like when you go into dream world, you're in another existence. You're not in the physical anymore. But you don't realize that because things still seem to be physical to you. You still feel and touch, and as far as you know, it seems physical to me. Now, weird things happen, like you may fly or fall for long periods of time, and then when you hit the ground, nothing happens. You just walk, land on your feet like nothing happened. And the dream existence is a little weird, but you don't view it so weird to where you wake up and say, oh, I'm dreaming. It's not that weird to where when you're dreaming, you're like, this is weird. But you just exist, and it's normal to you until you wake up. And if you're falling in the dream, you feel like you're falling in real life. And if you're sweating in the dream and out of breath and running, when you wake up, you're still in that state. So this is what I want you to grasp. There's no separation. It's just a matter of the conscious coming and going out of the physical, and everything you see in life is a matter of that conscious coming and going. And we begin to perceive this as life and death and an end and a start, and there's no ending and starting, but it's just an existence of conscious coming and going, and it's truly a deep thing. Nothing matters in the way that we perceive it. So we perceive things how we do. And you're like, man, I die, it's going to be a a sad, horrible thing, and the dead doesn't know. They just exist like one does in a dream. They just never come back into the existence you're in. But they still continuously go in and out of conscious, meaning they still go in and out of the physical. So conscious still goes and comes even when in death or in dream. Dream is a small aspect of death. So when one is in death, I don't want you to think, oh, I don't dream in death. When you're dead, or when you're in the unphysical realm, which is like dream, you do dream. This would be the conscious coming back into the physical. Now, if you're dead and your body's decayed, when you come into the physical, this will be like the dream because it will only be temporary, like the dream is for you. Being as though you're in the body, the dream is only temporary. The unphysical realms that you experience is only temporary, being as though you're in the body. The conscious is in the body. Now, the conscious comes and goes in and out the body all day, all night, all throughout the day, but it is subjected to come back to the body because the spirit's there. So, whatever existence the conscious is in, it will continue to come and go, but it will be subjected to always come back to that. So you're alive, or what we would call, well, you're conscious. You're in the physical. And this is what we would call being conscious. But the conscious is just in the physical. Now, when the conscious leaves the physical, meaning in sleep, in daydream, it will always have to come back because the conscious is in the physical. Now, the conscious comes and goes in and out of physical when it's in the physical, or when it's not in the physical, it continuously does the same thing. Comes and goes in and out of conscious on small scales, on larger scales, and so on and so forth. So let's say you're dead. Now, you're not. Your conscious is not in physical. But it will continue to go in and out of physical as it did when it was in the physical. So now when you're dead, your conscious will go into the physical. But this will be like sleep or dream for those in the unphysical. So those in the unphysical, they come into the physical. So it's a deep thing I want you to grasp. But it's just a small thing, like how when you dream. So it's dreaming in reverse for them. And the conscious comes and goes in and out the physical, but it always returns to the unphysical because that's where it's at in that time. So you have a part of time where you physically exist, and you have a part of time where you unphysically exist. So you have a time where the conscious is in physical and a time where the conscious is out of physical. Now, during both of those times, the conscious will go in and out of physical, all throughout both times. So when the conscious is in the physical, it will go in and out of physical. And we call this dream, daydreaming, being knocked out, whatever the case may be. But you're not dead. So you always come back to the physical, meaning the conscious always comes back to the physical because that's the existence it's in. Now, conscious comes and goes regardless of what existence it's in, but it always returns to the existence it's in. A man's dead. His existence is the unphysical. Now, he will come in and out of the physical and unphysical during his time in the unphysical. And this will be like dream and awake to him. But the conscious will always return to the unphysical because that's where it is in that time. And all of this is a matter of being in body and being out of body. Sperm cells get eggs. Spirits get bodies. one and the same. So all knowledge, all things are one. We perceive them through a separation. So you being born is not a matter of conscious coming and going to you, but it truly is. And during you being born, that whole 9-month process before you were born, it's the same. Conscious was coming and going. The baby was awake and he was kicking and moving, and sometimes he was asleep, and it's a matter of the conscious coming and going. And then you're born from that existence, so to say, into the physical. Now the conscious is in physical existence, but it still comes and goes. Sleep, dream, whatever. And then the body's no more, and the conscious leaves the body, and it still exists the same way, like how I explained. And it eventually will get an egg cell or a body again and come into physical and exist there. So this is how conscious comes into the physical existence. From sperm cells getting eggs, or spirits getting bodies. And this is how the conscious comes in and out of physical and unphysical. The conscious has no existence or realm of its own, but the conscious realms are either in spirit, sperm cell, or either in physical body. So you have spiritual and physical. And it's just a matter of sperm cell without an egg cell or sperm cell with an egg cell. So sperm cell with an egg cell is physical. Sperm cell without an egg cell is not physical. And we're all sperm cells that got eggs. So you don't have to get confused and think, oh, this is just man talk. No, this is life. I'm the wise servant. Please try to grasp. I'm not trying to be difficult or make you guys feel dumb or anything. But it's just a matter of acknowledging and grasping. So this is all physical and unphysical is. It's a matter of being born, or sperm cells getting eggs. And that's how that works. Now, when sperm cells get eggs, they exist in the physical now. But the conscious always comes and goes, in and out of the spiritual and physical existence. Because the spiritual existence exists within the physical. So the spirit is within the body. And so it's the same in the existence, because the life is within the life. So you have micro life within you. You are micro life within the solar. The solar is micro life within the universe. And all life is within the life. So, even when an egg cell gets, even when a sperm cell gets an egg or a spirit gets a body and now it's existing in physical, the conscious still comes and goes out of the two existences, because the conscious is not subjected to either. You are that conscious, and you're not subjected to the body or the spirit, but these are your means of existing. So it's a simple thing, and during the whole existence, you go in and out of the spiritual body and the physical body. So I don't want you to think, oh, the physical body and the spiritual body is one thing, and the physical place that the spiritual body exists in and the physical place that the physical body exists in, this is a whole different thing. So the physical place is separate from the physical people. We are who we are, and this place is what it is, and we're in it. And this is completely wrong. It's all conscious going in and out of physical. So you're conscious, and being as though you're conscious in the physical body is where it is, and it interacts with the other physical things. So all conscious in physical makes up the physical. So I'm a physical person, you're a physical person, and then it's a bunch of people. So in that you have a bunch of physical things, and this place that we call it a place, it's physical, but it's just conscious making it up. And you have animals and all these other physical things around, and this is just conscious making that up. Meaning this is conscious in its physical state. And all these different consciousnesses in its physical states or bodies make up the physical, so that you interact in that. And so it's the same with the spiritual body. The conscious goes to that. And all the consciousnesses within the spiritual make up the spiritual existence. And you pretty much just come and go out of that. So when you get a sperm cell gets an egg, it's now in the physical existence. Now that conscious is in the physical, but it will go in and out of that physical. It will go into the spiritual realm or existence of self. We call this dream and things like this. It will go into its own existence separate from physical and unphysical, or spiritual and physical. It will go into its own realm, which is like nothingness. And this is where you have like dreamless nights, where there's just nothing. But even in that nothing, there's still existence. This is why you come back from it. So we just have life so confused. We think, oh my God, there's a state of complete, absolute unconsciousness. And then there's a state that's like dream consciousness. And then we have physical consciousness. And this is all the same thing. It's the conscious. Conscious not in spiritual realms, or conscious not in physical realms, still exists. It's just in its realm, which is nothing. But nothing is not nothing. It's something. It's like rest or peace. In you doing things, you need nothing. But that's not to say that nothing is nothing. When you're standing still, you still exist. Nothing changed. You're just not doing anything, but you need that so that you can rest. So don't think like, oh my God, absolute no consciousness is like dead. It's no such thing as dead. There's no such thing as unconscious. But we perceive things how we do. But there's no unconscious. What we call unconscious, which is like complete absolute nothingness, is just a state of conscious. And that's why you come from that. Like, I was knocked out into complete absolute no consciousness, and you wake up and you don't even realize that you were in that state because it was nothing. So a man gets knocked out, he's blank. And he wakes up continuing to do what he did last. So if he was fighting, he wakes up from being knocked out still trying to do that. And he had nothing happened to him. But to you, you're like, brother, you were gone for like 10 minutes. Like there was nothing. And he's like, no, I wasn't. And this is why that happens. Because what we call unconscious is truly not, there is no such thing as unconscious. But the conscious was just in its own state of existence, which is unseen, unnothing, nothingness. But it's an existence. You don't remember that nothingness because there's nothing to remember. It's just for the purposes of nothingness. But it's the realest of all the existences, and I don't know if you guys can grasp what I'm saying. I'm so wise. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm going beyond what you guys can grasp, or if I'm in the realms of what you guys can grasp. A lot of y'all have me tied in with the other teachers. So y'all like, oh, he's like this guy or that guy, and this kind of, it's like I said, it's the way y'all perceive things. I am truly like nobody you've ever seen or heard of in life. So you can go find any wise man of any time you've ever heard. There's no correlation between me and them. You just don't perceive things how they are or for what they are. So you don't perceive night and day for what it is, which is just conscious coming and going. And the space or place that we're in is nothing happened, but conscious just came and went. So we just don't perceive things for what they are. So you guys see me as like no different than any other teacher. And it's a deep, cold-blooded thing because my wisdom is incomparable. It's like I can go as far as you can grasp. I just don't know how much y'all can grasp. But I can go deeper than I'm going now. So I know you guys are like, this is deep. Silas ain't never go this deep. But this is not deep to me. If you can see how I'm speaking, I know this stuff. So it's it's not deep to me. There's deeper. But I don't bother with that because I'm like, they may not. I'm not sure if y'all can grasp this. Not saying it in a negative way, like, oh, y'all dumb. But I'm just saying, I'm not interacting with y'all right now. So I don't know who can grasp or not. So I just do it for those that may can. Now, there's even deeper than this, but like I said, I'm not sure how well you can grasp. But life is not what y'all think. Y'all think it's like a beginning and an end, and it's just conscious coming and going into its different states of existence, which is what we would call spiritual and physical. But it's just conscious coming and going. It's just like with rain. You have water vapor, the gases, and they condense. So the water vapors, the gases, which looks like fog to us. This came from the unseen. So this is just the conscious coming into the astral, or what we would call the spiritual. And you can see it, but it's like ghostly. So that's all. And then those gases come together, condense more, and we get water. So it's like the cloud, the unseen that the cloud came from, then the water that came from the cloud. This is all just conscious condensing, or going into its different realms of existence, which we call spiritual and physical. So the cloud is spiritual, it's like ghostly, and then the water is just physical, and that's what we familiar with. And we have all those things separate. So every aspect of life is the same. It's just conscious coming and going, or conscious condensing into its different states of existence. Or you can view it as conscious just going and existing in its different states of existence. But it's all the same thing. So when I say, oh, I know everything, I know all, and y'all say, wow, he got such a big ego. Well, I was just letting you know. I didn't really wasn't ever even put it into that perspective. I never thought you guys would perceive it that way. But once I grasped that you guys did, then I'd rub it in. But aside from that, when I first said I know everything, I wasn't thinking in the realms of ego or competing. I was thinking in the realms people are struggling, they don't grasp life. So I was just letting you know, like, I know everything. I didn't really care if you believed it or not. That didn't matter. I'm just letting you know so that you can know. Because everybody has to know things. So you can go your rest of your life now and say, I never had the opportunity to truly learn anything real. And you did. It was a guy named Silas, and you seen him. And you heard him say, I know everything, but you just didn't believe it. So in that, then you didn't learn anything. But nothing's kept from you in the life. I know we think like, oh, there's access and there's privilege, and that's not real. That's man-made stuff. Everyone gets the same access to life. Even when men are oppressing one another, you still have access to life. I mean, you can still go to the forest and plant and grow food and build your own house, and they won't even know you're there, and you can live life free. And so this is my point. There's nothing that's truly kept from you, but we just move in a matter of fear. So you're scared. So this is why you're like, I'm not doing that. That's illegal, and I'll go to jail. And so your fears stop you from having the access. But there's no secrets in life. There's nothing you can't know. When I say I know everything, that's regular. Supposed to. Y'all don't, because y'all don't grasp for some reason. And then y'all don't believe this is real. So y'all like, you can't know everything. Well, everything is just one thing. So it's really not that impressive as y'all think. You're like, oh, to know everything is impossible. That's so great, or it's just not. It's one thing. Like, everything is one thing. And we have everything. We have one thing separate in so many different perceptions. Therefore, when a man says he knows everything, it's kind of perceived in the wrong light. But I wasn't trying to piss you guys off in any way. I was just trying to help you guys grasp. It's that simple. If you don't want to grasp, don't. I don't. It's okay. But it's like, a lot of y'all are like, man, you always calling us dumb. You have smart, you have dumb. Now, whoever said one was better than the other? So this is my point. Y'all perception is what it is. Y'all make a person what y'all want. So y'all make me insult y'all. I'm just telling y'all dumb because that's what y'all are. Y'all live in this existence and you don't grasp. So then that's like you're dumb. But whoever said there was a one was better than the other? See, y'all view smart as better than dumb. Therefore, you view dumb as an insult. But no one ever truly said, that's not in life anywhere, that dumb is better than smart or vice versa. We made that up. So if you're dumb, it doesn't matter. You still exist, and you being dumb is not going to stop you from existing. You're just going to exist dumb. But you don't lose anything that the next person. So you get my point? Dumb people are here in this existence. Smart people are here in this existence. Now they're all truly just one thing, which is dumb, because everybody here, even the smartest person, he doesn't truly grasp life. But y'all have him separate from yourselves, and y'all say, oh, he's really wise and he's really dumb. He's the same exact as y'all. But it's just a deep thing. But you have dumb here in the same existence as smart, and do they exist any different? I mean, you could say, oh, the smart man has a better life. He's rich and the dumb man is poor. But, that's not true, because you have rich, dumb people and poor, smart people too. So that really has nothing to do with it. And this is my point. Dumb and smart is not a matter of separation or feeling like one is bad and one is... If a man calls you dumb, maybe you just are dumb, but then you just build up on smartness if that's what's important to you. But you don't have to view you being dumb as insulting or a bad thing. No one ever said in life, it wasn't written anywhere in life that that's true. That the dumb man is less than the smart man. See, the dumb man will live the same way the smart man gets to live, and the dumb man will experience dying just like the smart man. And the dumb man is coming in and out of conscious the same way as the smart man. So conscious is coming and going from the dumb man, no different than the smart man. And you guys just have all of these things separate. Y'all are conditioned, so it's just hard to explain things to you guys. But truth will set you free from your body, because men will kill you for that shit. So it's deep. It's deep, but I say it in joking manner because there's nothing don't matter. If you die, that don't really matter. You just view it that way, but you still will exist, and you won't grasp the same way you don't grasp now. Now, when I die, I'll grasp because I grasp now. So who I am is conscious, and who you are is conscious, and you're coming and going into your different forms of existence, and your experience in those different forms of existence, meaning you're coming and going out of the physical and the spiritual, but you're the conscious, and I'm the conscious, and you know what you know. And it doesn't matter what existence you go in and out of, you will know as you know, because you're the conscious. And if you're dumb physically, you're dumb no matter where you are. The existence doesn't make you, but you make the existence. You are the existence. And a dumb man is a dumb spirit. A dumb spirit is dumb conscious. But it's just deep. So this is why I say when I die, I will know. And because of who I am is who I am consciously. It doesn't matter if I'm in body or not. So then I have more options than you, I guess, But doesn't mean that's necessarily better. A man can live 20,000 years in the physical. But that doesn't really mean anything. He's going to get to the spiritual when he gets there, and he's going to experience the spiritual all throughout his 20,000 physical years, just like you go in and out of consciousness while you're physically alive. You just don't grasp what you're experiencing, but like I said, every aspect of life you have already experienced, and you just don't grasp. So that's the point. And then, you repeatedly do the same things. Conscious repeatedly comes and goes, and being as though it happens so frequently, and it's happening on minute scales and large scales, and it's physically happening, and it kind of causes confusion. It's like, oh man, I don't really understand how life is working. But yes, you do. You just, well, you don't, but you've experienced enough where you know everything in life. You just don't. You don't. But when it's said to you, then you know, like, yeah, that's right. That's wrong. Now, some people go with wrong by choice. So y'all know God and all this religion stuff is wrong and it's fake. But y'all go with it. So I don't want you to get lost and say, no, I don't, well, I don't know everything. Well, you do, but I some people choose to live in lie existence, and some choose to live in truth existence, and there's no separation in the existence. As you see, lie is right around truth, people, and we just have all this separate. So the liar knows he's a liar. The guy who doesn't know, he knows. But so a lot of y'all say, man, I'm not sure if this God and thing is real or not. Well, you are sure and you do know, but for some reason you like experience plain dumb existence. Then you have those that say, I know within my heart God and Jesus is real, and I've experienced God and I have a connection, and they choose to live in lying existence. But they know everything they're saying is a lie. They know there's no God and all of this foolish. They know this.